In this week's episode, you are going to meet the guy you met last week, Bob. We told you he had two cool cars. Last week we got his Chevy Nova. This week we're going to show you his 34 Ford Coupe. Man, did this guy do a lot of work in making this car beautiful. You're not going to want to miss it, so stick around.
My name's Bob Barron. Got a 34 Ford 3-window fiberglass Outlaw Coupe, 3.5-inch chop. Did a split paint scheme on it, satin black over gloss fenders, some pinstriping and louvering, something different. Chevy Vortec motor, 200R Ford Trans, Ford 9-inch, air conditioning, power windows, power everything. It's a fun little car. Drove it out to Colorado about 7-8 years ago, no problem. I'd like to go again. But I built the car because I'm a big guy and it fits me. Probably the last one I'll ever build. Yeah, the pinstripings, at least 20 years old. A fellow up in Wisconsin had done it before I bought the car. Bought the car, it needed a lot of work at a rod shop that the guy couldn't afford, so I bought the car and finished it. And the fenders were painted here in Illinois, like in the winter time, and when I took it out to Colorado, they started blushing because all the retarder didn't dry out of it. So Miguars and all PPG, everybody was trying to figure out what was going on, and they worked on my car, my fenders for 2 days to make them shiny, and then they realized what had happened. Just kind of doing something different. It's an older build, but it's still a fun car to drive, and change the wheels and tires set up every couple of years just to try to make it look different. But had really no problems with it. Rebuilt the motor for the hell of it last year. Dual quads, cam, it gets up and goes. No tickets so far. It's a late model Vortec motor, Chevy Vortec motor. 350 bored out. It's a good motor. I mean, it was basically a crate motor, and then we just did a lot of upgrades in it and stuff. But no leaks. Can't complain about that. Doesn't overheat. Runs cool and reliable. Starts up all the time. Like I say, it's an Outlaw body. Comes out of Pennsylvania, and he's still making them. 3.5-inch chop. It just looks like a hot rod. That's what I had to have. I've had Model A's, 32s, 44s, and had to have a 34. Well, yeah, the taillights can be put any place you want. They originally come on the fenders, but the fellow who originally built the car and didn't finish it thought he'd put them on a little bit different, which is probably a good idea because it's a one of. I have never seen another car, a 34 with taillights like that, so mine is kind of unique, and they know whose car it is. But they're 39 teardrop headlights, and did a lot of louvers. Like I say, I try to make the car look like an old hot rod with the checkered board firewall, the wheels and the tires. Didn't want to have too much chrome. They have to clean too much chrome and polish stuff, you know. But I had to have a bumper in the back too many times. I was thinking somebody's gonna creep up and crunch that gas tank in the back. Got 34 plates on it. Like I say, don't have no wipers, but I don't have to worry about it because I don't take it out in the rain. My name's Bob Barron. This is my 1934 Ford Coupe, 3-window coupe. This is what I enjoy doing, and this is why I'm a car guy.
So there's a couple things that I really liked on Bob's car. Number one was the pinstriping. I mean, not just because it was 20 years old, but because it's just awesome pinstriping. You know, I mean, I used to do that kind of thing. I worked for a sign company, and it's just cool to me, you know. The other thing that I found that was really attractive to me was the work that he did on the checkerboard firewall. I mean, it was interesting, it was unique, it stood out, and it was definitely a feature of his car.
Totally an 80s thing. I agree. And if anybody that ever watched 80s videos on MTV back in the day, you know that ZZ Top made an awesome 34 Ford Coupe. And when I look at that, I think of all those old 80s movies that had checkered cabs still out there, and guys would checker their motorcycles and do all these different things. And hey, pinstriping has been around probably since the 40s, 50s, but it's so cool to see it on some of these older, cool custom cars.
Exactly. Another cool thing that I liked about Bob's car was all the louvering that he did. I have no idea how somebody does that kind of a thing, but it really adds to the look of that car.
Yeah, they make a pretty cool louvered punch, but you have to be so dead on with measurements and everything when you're using it. That's really a metal guy type thing to do. Everything about Bob's car is cool, all the way down to the 2 different kinds of paint on it.
Yeah.
You know, to have that matted, matted paint on the body, and then
Flat black,
and then shiny.
Yeah.
On all of his fenders.
Yeah,
I mean,
gloss.
who doesn't love that car?
Oh, it's just, I mean, it really adds to the whole look of the car and just breaks it up, shows you different sexy body lines of the car. It really does a good job in breaking it up.
And my favorite thing about the car, it has air conditioning.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And he added that, right? Did he
did.
say that he added that air
Yep,
conditioning?
it's called Vintage Air, and that's a company out there you can purchase, put it in almost any kind of car. So
That's cool.
yeah, when you have a car like that, you want to be comfortable. And he's a tall guy, so he probably puts seats in that he can move further back in. So I'm sure that's why those seats are in that car.
Yeah, and that could be true too. Yeah,
Yeah.
he is a big guy. And you know what? He's a little bit of an older guy too. I know we've talked about this before, getting in and out of Corvettes, getting in and out of small cars. It's just not that easy these days. So a car that you can get in and out of real quick, I could imagine, nice comfortable seats help with that a little bit.
For sure.
Yeah, what did you like most about his car?
You know what I love about his cars? I love the rear end on it. I love the way it looks from the back side. You said the louvering. It's that cool louvering below the trunk lid. The trunk isn't very big in that car because it's a little coupe, but it's a cool car. I love that it's got those big fat wide tires on the back. I love the rims on the car. I love the different, the cool part about that car is there's so many different things that you could do about it. Everybody who has one of those coupes makes it their own.
Yeah.
That car is Bob's.
Yeah.
That's why I love that car. I have so much respect and love for that guy. He's truly like a mentor to me. And I love seeing him out at car shows and cruise nights. He's always very respected and people love him.
One of the cool things on the car too that really surprised me was the remote control with the hydraulic trunk. I mean, that was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
That is definitely a lazy man's toy.
Well, and he said that they have trunk lid races at cruise nights, and I thought that was pretty funny. I've never seen it myself, but
okay.
I'm not going to tell Bob he's wrong.
All right, so they all have remotes and they press them, and whoever comes up the fastest
Right.
wins.
And I'm sure it's probably who's got to buy the next beer or who's going to buy dinner.
Right, that's pretty funny.
The other thing I love about his car is that his exhaust has the electric cutouts. So he hits a little button inside of his car and the cutouts move away from the exhaust and it's all open headers.
Oh, that's
so when he's cruising down the road and he opens that up, it sounds pretty cool.
What did you think of his garage? I mean, how many guys do you know that have a 4-poster lift in their garage?
One of the things I'm a little mad that we didn't actually get in the video, which, he has a Hemi in his garage that actually had a cover over it. He has a real old school Hemi and it is unbelievable. I believe it has a blower on it. It's a cool Hemi. And he doesn't have a car to put it in yet. He hasn't decided what he's gonna do with it. But I think my favorite thing about his garage is I found him this cool picture of his car on a beer sign. And I gave somebody some money at a bar one time and got the picture and gave it to Bob, and Bob put a frame on it and put it up in his garage. But it has a 66 orange Nova on it.
That's cool.
And Bob used to take it and put it in his back seat of his car when he would go to car shows.
That's cool.
So yeah, it kind of like puts me a little part of me inside of Bob's car. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's cool. All right, cool. So talk about next week, and it's Randy, right?
Yeah, so this week we're going to be meeting up with a guy named Randy Karnick. Randy has a 1969 Chevy Camaro. It is unbelievable.
Yes.
Has a 502 big block in it. It is an awesome car. It's my favorite car to hear start up at a cruise night.
Talk about a beautiful car. As soon as we got there and I saw that car, I was immediately attracted to the paint job. That thing, I originally thought it was black, and the reason why I say that is because it was so shiny. And you know how when you get a black car that has a really good paint job and a really good buff job, that there's just so much depth to that black. I caught my eye right away and went right up to it, and then as I got closer I was like, wait a minute, this thing isn't black. And then he said it was a midnight blue.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's a midnight blue.
Midnight blue. That thing is so deep, it looks like you could stick your hand in and pull out a quart of blue paint with your fingers. So it is a pretty cool car.
Okay guys, we'll see you next week on
After the Smoke Clears.